Dogworks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dogworks. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com. You can support this podcast on patreon.com/firstpawmedia.
Welcome to Dogworks Radio. Did you know that one of the biggest behavior problems that we get calls about is unwanted chewing behavior? Sadly, it is also one of the key reasons why dogs end up in shelters. To some people, the fact that their dog chewed up the leather couch is unthinkable. But did you know that with proper training, early intervention, and lots of exercise, there is a way to curb this behavior? On today's episode, we are going to find out why your dog is constantly chewing on the furniture, your shoes, the rug, or just about anything else. We want to give a thanks to our friends from the American Kennel Club and the Dog Writers Association of America for helping us out on this episode. After the episode, ask yourself, what new ideas has this conversation sparked for you? Then share this episode with a family member or friends and discuss it together. As always, ping me over on Instagram at firstpawmedia. And just remember, dog training is a big commitment, and accountability is a huge part. You can do it. I believe in you. But before we dive into this episode, can I ask a favor? If you have been listening to Dogworks Radio for a while now, say 3 or more episodes, and you like what you hear, would you consider leaving us a 5-star review? Something simple, 2 or 3 sentences max, is perfect for telling the world about what you like about this podcast and what you have learned and why you are a rabid listener. This helps us tremendously. Just scroll down in your favorite podcast player and click the leave a review button. Super simple. And thanks so much for tapping that subscribe button. This month, we've got listeners in 61 countries worldwide. So, hello to our listeners in Indianapolis, Denver, and Philadelphia, and our friends in Singapore. We are happy you are tuning in. Okay, it's time to dive in. Are you ready?
From First Paw Media, sponsored by Alaska Dogworks Professional Canine Training Center in Anchorage, Alaska. This is Dogworks Radio, committed to families and their dogs to build lifelong and fulfilling relationships. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert and Michele Forto.
Chewed shoes, nibbled baseboards, and gnawed furniture are all common nuisances during your puppy's early months. After all, teething puppies need to chew to help relieve the discomfort of erupting teeth. But dogs grow out of that, right? Well, no, not exactly. Adult dogs love to chew, and if they don't learn appropriate chewing behavior, you can expect many more years of household destruction. If you've ever wondered why your dog is chewing everything they can get into their mouth, listen up to learn why they do it and how to stop it. Learning how fun chewing can be. When your dog was a puppy, they likely tried chewing all kinds of things, and every time they chewed, they got relief from teething pain. That rewarded them for their destruction. It also taught them that those items were fun to chew. Just because your pup's teething ended doesn't mean that those lessons were forgotten. Now that your dog is fully grown, they still remember the enjoyment provided by all those inappropriate items. So expect them to keep experimenting with their teeth. However, the better job you did preventing inappropriate chewing when your dog was a puppy, the easier time you will have when they are an adult. After all, if they never learn that shoes make good chew toys, they may never try gnawing on one. But If your puppy got away with a chewing free for all, your work is cut out for you. Chewing is natural for dogs. Chewing is a canine natural behavior. Think about your dog's wolf ancestors tearing apart a prey animal. Those sharp teeth are there for a reason. Chewing also helps dogs clean their teeth and exercise their jaws. And, most importantly, it's fun. Chewing is a great way for dogs to pass the time and amuse themselves. It's unrealistic to expect your dog to never express this instinctive behavior. But why do dogs chew such odd things like your stinky shoes or the remote control? The key is thinking like a dog. Those shoes may smell bad to you, but to your dog, they are rich in olfactory information and, critically, they smell like you. So do the remote control and other objects you wear or interact with frequently. Taste isn't a factor. Smell rules in a dog's world. But what about wooden table legs or baseboards? It may simply be your dog using the only objects available. A stressed or bored dog needs an outlet, and the baseboards are right there at mouth level. Texture may play a role too. Plastic and wood are firm, yet likely to have enough give for a satisfying chomp. However, destructive chewing, such as around window or door frames, can be a sign of separation anxiety. Providing chew toys for your dog. The first step in dealing with inappropriate chewing is to provide appropriate alternatives. But throwing a bunch of chew toys on the ground and hoping for the best is not likely to help. Remember to think like a dog. The chew toy is an unknown object, but that shoe is a proven delight. You need to encourage your dog to select the toys by making them as appealing as possible. To prevent boredom, you can also rotate the toys so there are new options every few days. Food dispensing chew toys like the Kong Classic or the Zogoflex Tux Treat dispensing toy are perfect. They are made of a durable rubber, so they're long-lasting and just enough give. But better than that, you can stuff them with food like peanut butter or cream cheese to add extra oomph. Layer the soft food with harder pieces of liver treats or homemade biscuits or even their kibble, so your dog gets extra special surprises when they chew and explore the toy. You can also freeze the toy after stuffing it to make the treats last longer. Edible chews are another excellent choice. They obviously won't last as long as a quality toy, but they are incredibly exciting to dogs. They also help clean their teeth and gums. Look for options that are safe for your dog's chewing style. For example, rawhide may not be the best selection for vigorous chewers who are able to break off large chunks, which can cause intestinal obstructions or pose a choking hazard. Teaching your dog appropriate chewing behavior. So, you've provided enticing chew toys, but your dog is still chewing household items. To ensure your dog picks correctly, control their choices. Put away what you can to limit temptation. For example, put shoes in the closet and remote controls in a drawer. For other objects, block access or make them less appealing. Bitter tasting sprays may help deter your dog. Apply the spray on baseboards, furniture, or other unmovable items every day for at least 3 or 4 weeks. That should be long enough to break your dog's habit, especially if you're using that time to establish new habits. The key is to instill a chew toy addiction in your dog. If you offer wonderful chews and prevent inappropriate chewing, in no time your dog will learn what they can and cannot chew. Add some positive reinforcement to the mix, and you will really convince your dog that the appropriate chews are the best option. When they choose the right item, be sure to praise and reward them to increase the chance they will make that same choice in the future. While you're teaching proper chewing behavior, always supervise your dog. Anytime you see them about to choose something they shouldn't, redirect their attention to an appropriate chew toy or edible chew. When you can't supervise, consider using a crate or safe area to protect your house. But always provide appropriate chews in the crate to help your dog pass the time. Once your dog understands what they can and cannot chew, then they are ready for freedom. Finally, don't forget the importance of adequate mental stimulation and physical exercise. Boredom in dogs is a big contributor to inappropriate chewing. If you don't give your dog enough to do, they will look for their own fun, and that often involves their teeth. But if your dog gets enough playtime, training, and exercise, their chew toys will be more than enough to keep them busy. We're going to take a short break here, and when we come back, we are going to dive a bit deeper and learn which 6 breeds are the biggest chewers.
We're living in uncertain times. If there is one thing we can be thankful for, that is the recent pet adoption boom. Shelters are being cleared out, and that means you may not know much about your new best friend. Alaska Dogworks virtual and on-site classes are the best way for you to build a lasting bond and learn about your pup, new or old. From setting up a proper routine to learning the commands and much more, Alaska Dogworks provides you with the resources to develop your dog into one of the best. Right now, Alaska Dogworks has an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Go to alaskadogworks.com now and use promo code DOGWORKS and save 20% off your training program at the time of your booking. Visit alaskadogworks.com and use promo code DOGWORKS to save 20% today. That's alaskadogworks.com and use promo code DOGWORKS at the time of booking.
Every dog owner has had at least one occasion where they've come home to find something's been chewed. For some, it's their slippers. For others, it's the sideboard. For some, it's even been the whole couch, or even your favorite bedtime story. That's why we checked with Tasty Bone for some insight. They have worked hard to provide the best chews available to avoid these unfortunate destructive incidents. But which dog breeds chew more than any other? Here are a few we've come across. Number 1, Labradors. Labradors are bred as retrieving dogs, so they're used to having things in their mouth. They're also a very energetic and exuberant breed, always wanting to do something and keep themselves busy. Therefore, if you have an active breed with lots of energy that's used to mouthing things that don't have anything to do in the day, there's going to be chewing involved. Strong, long-lasting chews with flavor and a variety and plenty of exercise are recommended with these top chewers. Number 2. Interestingly enough, number 2 is the Chihuahua. It's not just the big boys who are chewers. Small dogs like Chihuahuas are just as prone to nibbling their way through your favorite shoes as bigger dogs are. That's because people often forget how much activity and attention small dogs need. Chihuahuas are prone to boredom, separation anxiety, and nervousness. This leads them to chewing objects to help alleviate this. So, if you have a Chihuahua, we recommend taking them on long walks to see if the extra exercise helps. Number 3, Border Collie. Border Collies are bred to be herding dogs. This means they have large supplies of energy. It also means they're a very intelligent breed. With lots of energy and a keen intellect, Border Collies can get bored easily and become restless. And when they get bored, they start to find things to keep them busy, like finding out what the inside of the couch looks like. To keep them from destroying your furniture, we recommend having your collie take part in more creative activities like flyball dog courses. Number 4, Jack Russells. These little chewers are infamous for their destructive habits. Jack Russells have endless sources of energy and are always looking for ways to use up that energy. Sometimes it's with activities like digging. Other times it's getting their gnashers around the nearest thing they can find and ripping it to shreds. That's why you should always be sure to keep a chew near your Jack Russell and to give them regular exercise and teach new tricks to keep their body and mind busy. Number 5, Golden Retriever. One of today's most popular dog breeds. Golden Retrievers were bred to retrieve birds that had been shot by hunters, making them another breed used to having things in their mouths. This leads to retrievers mouthing things a lot, which inevitably leads to vigorous chewing if they aren't kept busy. So, make sure your retriever is regularly exercised and always has a chew at hand to fulfill their mouthing needs. Number 6, Beagle. Beagles love eating more than anything, whether it's edible or not. They tend to follow their noses and chew on anything they perceive to be tasty. For these adorable little chewers, we recommend a toy with treat placed inside to keep their inquisitive noses busy. We also recommend giving them a tasty bone infused with delicious flavors to the core to keep their taste buds satisfied all day long. Before we end the show, let's press pause for a sec. Maybe ask yourself, why did this resonate with me? What aspect of my relationship with my canine buddy could I apply this to? And what am I going to do differently this week to make my dog's training a little easier? So take time to mull it over, talk it out with a family member or trusted friend, put some ideas down in your training journal, and then check back next week for our next episode. And, as always, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this episode, so reach out and DM me over on Instagram at First Paw Media, and let's spark a conversation. Until then, keep going. You are doing great. It is time to create the relationship with your dog that you always dreamed of. Thanks for listening to DogWorks Radio. Find the show notes for this episode and all others at alaskadogworks.com. Know someone in your life who might need help with their dog's training? Be a hero and share our podcast with them. And we will see you next time.
From First Paw Media, this is DogWorks Radio. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you'll see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert and Michele Forto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media. Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michele Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com.